Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Whitney Jorns-Kuhnlens. I'm the Director of Graduate Student Services, and we'd like to formally welcome you to Lasell University graduates and our first ever fully virtual orientation. Normally we would be presenting to you tonight in the Science and Technology Center, but Zoom is also very fitting too, because this is where most of you will be doing a lot of your coursework over the next few weeks and semesters. So we are aware of your time tonight and want to make sure that you will be able to get off to dinner, but not leave before you get some great information. So I just want to take a moment to introduce you to our team and then go over tonight's agenda. So first things first, and actually let me pause and just do a little bit of housekeeping quickly. I know you've been getting some messages about to change your name on your Zoom page there. You just see the little dots next to your face. If you need to change your name, you can do that there. If you are new to Zoom also, there is a chat feature, the bottom bar at the bottom of the screen. And at any time, you can ask a question to the host. You can ask a question to someone specifically, maybe an enrollment coach or an advisor, or even to everyone in the group. So feel free to chat away at any point. So now I wanted to take a moment to introduce you to our team. On this slide here, you will see the Bancroft team. Normally we're on campus. We're all located under one roof together in Bancroft House. At the very far top left there on the screen is Dr. Crystal Porter. She is the Vice President of Graduate and Professional Studies. Next, we have our Assistant Vice President, Adrian Franciozzi of Enrollment. Next, that's me, Whitney, Director of Graduate Student Services and Advising. Next line, we've got Chris Gray, the Director of Enrollment. Jody Malloy is our program coordinator, office coordinator, and you'll find her doing lots of important tasks for us. And if ever you get to come meet us on campus, she'll be the first face to greet you. And then next we have our wonderful enrollment team. We have Mark Gaffney, then Amanda Beaton, Candace Obratsov, and then just gonna skip down to the lower roll to finish the enrollment coaches. We have Amy Hurwitz. So I'm sure you all know at least one of these names very well, and you've probably gotten to know them as you've enrolled into our programs. And then we have Caroline Lynch back on the second far right corner there. And then the bottom, Liz Milano. Those women are both our graduate advisors. So now you'll be transitioning from enrollment over to that side of the house, and also to me, as I also do some advising as well. So we're very pleased to meet you, and you're gonna get some more FaceTime with us tonight and then in the near future. So for tonight's agenda, you will see that we are doing our login time now. Hopefully everyone's getting in and is situated. We're doing a quick little meet the team, which we've just done, and a welcome address in just a moment from Dr. Porter. After that, we are going to break you out into sessions with your academic advisor. So about half of you are going to be going to meet with your advisor, Caroline Lynch. About the other half will be going to meet with Liz Milano. We will actually physically tell you when that's happening, and then we'll break you out into those rooms. And they'll give you a presentation about tips and tricks and some resources to help you succeed at Lasell. Then we'll bring everybody back into the big group, and we're going to have a current student panel. Caroline Lynch has arranged a great diverse panel of 6 of our students who are in various programs, various times in their academic career, and also in their professional careers and lives. So you'll be able to ask them your burning questions, everything you want to know from a student, and they are here to help and to answer those questions. Then we're going to break you out once more, and this time we'll break you into your program areas. You'll see the program areas here, and each of these areas have a faculty representative coming on tonight. So you're going to get to speak with someone who not only teaches courses in the program, but is also the graduate program coordinator. So they are someone who is very familiar with your career paths, with the industries, and then also nuances to the curriculum, any types of substitutions or special things you may need along the way. So they're a great resource, and you'll also have an advisor and enrollment coach in those sessions as well. We're recording tonight. We will make sure and send it out to you when we're all done. And again, ask questions as you go, and we are so pleased to have you here and to have you at Lasell. So now, with no further ado, I'd like to take a moment to present Dr. Crystal Porter, our Vice President of Graduate and Professional Studies. Crystal, we are not able to hear you. Can everyone hear Crystal? Sorry, just 1 second, everybody. Apologize for this. We're just gonna get her unmuted.
Okay. I think I'm unmuted now, correct?
Yay, yes.
Perfect, thank you. Good evening, my name is Dr. Crystal Porter, and I would like to again welcome you to Lasell University's Graduate and Professional Studies. We are both glad that you could not only join us this evening, but that you've made the decision to join us on this next chapter in your academic journey. Please take a moment right now to truly take it all in, this very moment. To get here, you have made a number of successful decisions and sacrifices so that not only you could earn a degree, but an advanced degree. So be proud that you set a goal and you made it to this part of your personal journey. My team and I are excited and happy that you chose Lasell. We are looking forward to helping you reach your goal. As a person who has earned multiple degrees, I would like to offer you just a few words of advice tonight. Make the commitment to yourself to remain teachable. What I mean by this is not to fall for the common traps of thinking you don't need to learn something, or you can't learn something, or that you can only learn from a certain type of people or a certain type of way. When you're teachable, you can learn from everyone and everything around you, both inside and outside of the classroom. Unlike your undergraduate school experience, I can almost guarantee you that your classes are going to go over material that you've learned before. Graduate school is the opportunity to go deeper on topics and subjects. So try to pay attention to how the information is being presented to you. And better yet, contribute your knowledge to the conversations and class discussions while considering what your classmates and faculty have to offer this time around. And if your ideas are just getting confirmed, then you're actually succeeding in exactly what you came here to do: master the content of your discipline. The members of GPS are here to help. So if any questions or concerns come up, please reach out to us and let us know how we can help you. We want to see you get to your end goal of obtaining your degree. Again, thank you for joining us this evening. We are so happy that you're now a part of the Lasell family. I wish you all the best of luck and success. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Crystal. I think that some of you, or maybe even most of you, will get the opportunity to work with her along your way in your programs. So I have a couple of slides just to give you a little bit of an overview of the graduate student services, and hopefully this will start to get you excited for the next couple of sessions we have for you tonight. So first of all, I don't know about you all, but I love some good data. So here's some quick GPS fast facts for you. We've got a little breakdown just to give you an idea of what our population looks like in terms of demographics. We are relatively diverse, and we do have an international student population of about 8%. Those 8% all live within the United States during their studies, and then the rest of our students are domestic, meaning that they are US citizens and live in the States. We have just over 670 graduate students in total studying at Lasell at any given time. And 30 different states are represented in that population, and about 20 different countries. Something that's not mentioned here too that is interesting, and I think you'll see a little bit later, is our age range of students. We range from the ages of 21 to 64. So we've got students studying fresh out of their bachelor's programs, and we have students who are well into their careers and looking to make changes or looking to learn more. So I think you'll find your classes to be full of a great wealth of knowledge and somewhere that you can really learn from one another. Here's some information in general about our graduate academic advisors. As I mentioned previously, we have 3, well actually even 4, because we also have an advisor for our education programs, but all of you have already been assigned a graduate academic advisor who will be your professional advisor throughout your time here. The different programs are listed here for who belongs to which advisor. In general, you'll use this person for anything you can think of. You can go to her as a sounding board when you just need a little bit of extra cheerleading. You can go when you've got questions about what was the form that I was supposed to fill out again, or how do I handle applying for graduation. You can ask about course suggestions. You can ask just about anything. And if we don't know the answer, we're definitely going to refer you to the right person who does. So plan to meet with them as often as you like. Currently, we're doing phone meetings and we're also doing Zoom meetings. And then of course we text and email too. And then one day we'll even be able to meet you back on campus again. So in just a moment, we're going to start breaking you out into those 2 rooms. Those of you who are assigned to Caroline Lynch, you're going to stay in this main room, but we'll give everyone else a moment to break out. And everyone who's assigned to Liz Milano will be breaking out into the other room so that you can be among those who are also advised by your advisor. We'll go over a few slides and take all of your questions. So thanks for your patience as we start breaking you into your rooms.
So I'll start off with, my name is Caroline Lynch. I am going to be your academic advisor throughout your time here at Lasell. If you are a nutrition for human performance student, Whitney Kuhnlins, who's also in this breakout room, is going to be your advisor. And so we're just kind of grouping up so we didn't have to do a bunch of breakout rooms. My background, I've worked in career services before coming to Lasell, and I advise the marketing, project management, HR, rehab science, sport management programs. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to work with all of you. So the first thing that I wanted to cover, which really is one of the most important things every semester that you're in classes to keep tabs on, is when you can register. Because if you're not in classes, you can't take the classes. And so that's kind of the first step. So this, I would say definitely if you have your phone with you, if you know how to take a screenshot on your computer, go for it. It's also available at any given time on the website, on our new student orientation page, and I'll show you how to get there later. But so this details out when the first day of classes is. It's important to keep in mind, you'll hear add drop a lot in emails that we send to you. That is the date by which you can add new courses or drop courses without a financial penalty, so you can get a full refund back. So this would be, if there's a change in your schedule and you no longer have time for a class, or if you realize you have a ton of extra time in your schedule and you want to add one on. That is an important date to keep in mind. The next really important date that comes up is the course withdrawal deadline. So that's another phrase that you hear a lot and that you'll receive emails about from myself as well as the registrar. Between the add drop and the withdrawal deadline, there are different timelines through which you can withdraw and get money back for the course, and that's something that we can go into specifically if you end up needing to withdraw from a class. Other important things to look at, winter and spring registration, which will happen, and we do have some winter courses that run. Yeah, so those are all of the important dates for the fall to look out for. And so this slide is what's going to guide us through the rest of the presentation. And these are the top 5 initial questions asked by grad students. And honestly, they were asked by me when I started at Lasell. They are, what are the class formats? So in what ways can you take classes as a grad student? What is my Lasell? What is self-service? What is Canvas and how do I use it? What resources are available to me as a graduate student? I'm sure you found yourself asking some of these, if not all of these. And then if you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I'll leave some time at the end of the presentation and we can get to those questions as well. So to go over the first one, the class formats that we offer, the first one is full semester hybrid courses. So these are referred to commonly as a main course. And so this is probably what you're used to. It's a full semester and runs from September to October, or from January to May, or May to August. And so these have in-person classes every 2 weeks, which is why you'll hear the word hybrid, because there's still an online component, but you do go to campus every 2 weeks for a class. And there are some of these classes this semester because of COVID that are running fully online. And so if you happen to see any of those that are running for a longer period of time than what I'll explain as our 8-week classes, and you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to explain what's going on with all the changes to the course schedule. Most commonly, and what a lot of our fully online students will take, a lot of our distance learners will take, are the 8-week online courses, which are commonly referred to as session 1 and session 2. These are always completely online. They are 7 to 8 weeks long, and there is never an in-class component, and they're what's called asynchronous. So all of the work is done on your own time, and there's no time logging into a Zoom call or anything like that. And then the last type of class that we offer is a 2-week winter intensive, and that occurs December through January. It's 2 weeks long and fully online, and it is just that it's intense. So, you know, if you're really thinking about just knocking a class out, and you're really committed to doing the work, and you have 2 weeks between December and January, that can be a great option for you. And so this is my Lasell. And when I went to start forming this slide, I was putting arrows to all the things that you could use, and I came up with the fact that it is just a lot. There is a lot that you can do here. And so I thought it would be better just to do a quick walkthrough. I would really recommend, and again, when I say I asked these questions when I started here, I was not joking. I wrote them down, I wrote down the answers. I would recommend bookmarking this page, because I can guarantee you're gonna go to it, if not once a day, multiple times a week. You can access pretty much everything you need for your graduate program from this my.lasell.edu page. Under the academics tab, you have access to the academic calendar, which was, I showed you a shortened version that just had the graduate student dates on it. That's their academic catalog, which will lead you to policies, information about the courses, information about programs, concentrations, certificates, and everything, commencement information, GPS course offerings, and most importantly, I would say under this tab is the graduate programs page. And this is where, if you ever have any questions or you're looking for information specifically in regards to our office, in regards to GPS, you can come here. It has contact information for every single person in the office. So if you're looking for anybody, you can find that. It also has a link to what is called the new graduate student orientation page, which has been pulled together especially for all of you as you begin your journeys here. We just recently pulled together this fantastic graduate student virtual tour, which one of our own, who was a grad student and an undergrad here, helped film. And it just takes you around campus. So, you know, if you plan on coming to campus or you were never going to get to campus, it's just a great chance to see what it looks like. It looks really beautiful right now. So that's there. There's a new student to-do list, which just gives you a checklist on things that you should think about doing, should definitely do. You know, some of you might not need a parking permit, and other things like that. Definitely a good list to go through as you're getting started in your first bit of time here. It has information on checking and forwarding your Lasell email, which I will say is a must, because that is the way that professors will communicate with you. So if you're not one to have, you know, 5 email accounts, you don't want to add another one to the list, I'd say first thing when you log off tonight, forward that Lasell email account, and then you don't have to think about it again, which is great. And then you don't miss an email from your professors, which is awesome. This also links you to online orientation, more information about GPS advising team, self-service tutorial videos, which are great, as well as information about all of the offices and services that are available to you as graduate students. And so as you can see, that's just scratching the surface. You can get to your financial aid resources, you can get to paying your bill. There's student life information. So if you're on campus, there's things about dining, there's ways to borrow movies from the library, as well as a link to look at all of the offices and services at the university. And so a lot. And that is just scratching the surface in a couple of minutes. If you ever have any questions about where to find something or anything that I mentioned, just send me an email. Self-service, which is one of the things that you can access from my Lasell, you will be in quite often. It is what you use to register for classes. It is what you use to access your academic plan. And it is, you can do what's called a what if analysis. It's a place where you can go to pay for your classes, do your schedule and check your grades. And it is a really great system that just got a total upgrade right before you all started. So it is brand new, works very well on your phones, which is awesome. And so when you log in, yours will look just a little different than mine. You'll just be missing a couple tabs up here, but you don't need those ones. You can register for your classes from here. You can view your schedule and you can see, when you're taking classes. And if you like this, you can get all the information you could ever possibly need about classes, when you're going to take them. It allows you to search for course offerings and course descriptions. And so for those of you on the call who are management students, if you wanted to say search for management graduate level class, you could do so by looking at this through the search function and course offerings. And you could look. One important thing to do is make sure that you're always choosing classes that are part of your program, because you don't want to take classes that won't count towards your degree. And so you can go in through here and look and see what's offered, when it's offered, and if it'll fit in with your schedule. Under registration is also academic plan, which is a really useful tool and one that I use probably 50 times a day for different reasons. What you're seeing right now is I am going towards a certificate in human resource management, so you're seeing my certificate. And so you can see it'll show you your classes, if you've taken them, as well as what you have left to take. You can actually register straight from here, which is really great. And so that's a very brief overview of self-service. There is about an 11-minute long video on our YouTube channel that's on that new student orientation page. If you just want to watch one video that explains everything that came out when self-service went through its overhaul. And then there are also individual videos on how to register, how to drop classes, how to find your student ID information, and a few other topics as well that will help you with basics of self-service. And so the next question was, what is Canvas? And it's most simple, it's a learning management system. It is where you will access all of your course content during your graduate program. So even if you take a hybrid class, every class that you have is going to have a Canvas page, and it's where your professor will post readings, that's where they'll post the syllabus, it's where you'll submit assignments, and it's a way that you can communicate with classmates, a way that you can communicate with your professor. And it is also where we have the graduate and professional studies online orientation. And so this is set up as a way, if you've never used Canvas or never used an online learning management system ever, which is completely possible, we set up the Canvas orientation like a class so that you can go through, practice clicking into modules, which are kind of like way professors will set them up as sections, topics by week typically. So you can practice clicking into ratings, going through, a quiz. There's a module on how to set up your profile properly. There's another module on submitting course assignments, and so we give you a chance to practice uploading an assignment. So that way, when it comes time to upload one for class, it's not last minute and you're figuring out for the first time how to upload that assignment, as well as a chance to practice course discussion posts, because those are used pretty frequently and pretty commonly across all classes as a way for students to engage with each other and with their professors. And so this, like I said, is set up so that you can practice, and when that first class does start, you feel confident and ready to go, and you feel like you've been using Canvas forever, and it's no big deal. And so this is available 24/7, never closes, there's no due dates, there's no pressure. So whenever you have time, it is always available for you to take a look at. Another thing to be mindful of is something that's available through Canvas and with your classes is something called tutor.com. And so if you're ever having trouble in a class or looking for additional information, tutor.com you can click into and actually get tutoring for your classes. And so when you click into that, there are additional resources for you for the classes that you are in. And that's a really great service that you can make use of. And so this slide, well, only one slide, is just a grouping kind of all the resources that are available to you as a graduate student here. And there are even more that aren't on this slide. And so, the way you'll get through your grad program is, friends, family, loved ones, coworkers, peers, teammates, colleagues, whoever, is in your life there to support you, your kids, with them, you're going to get through this grad program. The faculty in this program are, bar none, they're fantastic. And they were fantastic before the pandemic, but they have showed throughout all the craziness, they are so caring and so willing to work with students. And I'm always, hearing from faculty, touching base, making sure, students are doing well, checking in. And so I would say my biggest piece of advice is if you're ever worried about a class, just reach out to your professor. Don't wait, because more often than not, even though it's an online class, they want to hear from you, and they want to talk and they want to engage. Another thing to remember is you have career resources available to you through the Career Development Center. And so that is, resume and cover letter reviews. For the programs at the end, you have a capstone, and you can choose either to do a research capstone or an internship. And so if you are looking for assistance in your internship search, you can go to the Career Development Center for help. They also will do virtual appointments right now. They're available to contact via email. And all of the contact information for all of these offices is available on our grad programs page, new student orientation page. So and we'll make sure we will also send you this PowerPoint, as Whitney said, as a follow-up to this. And these are all hyperlinked right to their website. So you'll have that way of getting in touch with them as well. The Brennan Library has tons of information. They have the resource guides, the databases, the Minuteman library that you can access, and the library, there's a chat a librarian feature that you can use. So even if you're virtual, you basically have access that you would have if you were there on campus, which is really great. You will soon experience, if you have not already, staff in the financial aid and student accounts office are fantastic people. They are so quick to respond and so helpful. They're really great people, some of the best I've ever worked with, and they can help you with financial aid questions, payment questions, just anything related to the financial matters of your education. They are great. And then the staff at the Academic Achievement Center, they help with tutoring, writing assistance. So if you're struggling with your papers or in your classes, you can go there for tutoring assistance. There are also the Disability Services Center through them. So if you need accommodations for any of your classes, you can go through them. And then last but not least, there is our office, which is combined of both enrollment and advising. And as you know, you've worked with your enrollment council already, but you will soon work with me as well. And we are here to help you throughout the entirety of your journey. And I know I am very much looking forward to getting to know all of you. And so now, if you have any questions, I know I just rapid fired a ton of information at you, but any follow-up questions, any thoughts, feelings about grad school, can open up the floor. We have a couple minutes, I know, before we get pulled back into the main room, I believe. I see the time correctly. Yes.
While you're all thinking, I just wanted to thank Caroline for doing that, but also I wanted to share that some of you might be asking, so, what's the relationship now with my enrollment coach? And your enrollment coach, whether it was Amy or Mark or Candace or Amanda, you are always welcome to reach out to them at any point during the rest of your program here. But at this point, it probably is most common for you to be reaching out to that academic advisor. So in this case, Caroline, or if you're a graduate certificate student or a nutrition student, me. And we will do our best to answer your questions regarding curriculum or classes. The enrollment coach is really the expert in getting you in the door, and we're here to help keep you in your seats and then get you to a graduation line. So if you do have any questions, you can always still reach out to them, but we are definitely your go-to at this point. Any other questions? You can either unmute yourself or just go ahead and throw it in the chat bar.
So I can, while people are thinking of questions, I will go back to the page that I was showing you previously, which was the new student orientation page. And so it is not too late to sign up for session 2. I just got a question. It is actually, so I don't recommend waiting till the last minute. It's definitely, I'd say, more stressful for you, but you can technically sign up for a class right up until that add drop date, which is for the session 1 and session 2 classes, typically 3 days into that session. So it is not too late to sign up for session 1 or main either. So as you saw at the beginning of that presentation, the session 1, let me go back to make sure I have it totally correct. The session 1 and main add drop deadline is 9/10, and the first day of classes is 9/8. So you could technically register for session 1 and main courses until September 10th, a few days into the session. And session 2 classes you can register for until October 30th. So you have more than enough time. There's no pressure for session 2. You can definitely take a breather, start adjusting to your first session classes, schedule time to talk with me. If you have any questions about session 2, which is really nice, but you have a good amount of time to sign up for courses once registration will open in between when a session starts. So there's a good amount of breathing room, I would say. And so for this page was pulled together, basically any bit of information here, anything you have questions on, anything you're looking for more information on, you can always, you know, pick up the phone, call, schedule a Zoom meeting if you want to talk to me, if you want to talk to anybody else in GPS. But, you know, if it's midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, you're up, you have non-traditional work hours, this information is here all the time for you. So it's there when you need it. And that slide that I mentioned for all those resources, this is where you can come to find their phone numbers, their emails, and links to their website. And so this will always be here. My favorite class so far, that's a good question. I took a human resource law class. My first law class I ever took was in undergrad, and I was terrified. And since then, I've now taken 3, one in undergrad, one in my my master's program. I have a master's in education, and I've now taken a human resource law class. So that one was really interesting and very timely with everything that's been going on in the world. So it was really great to be able to bring the real world into class, and the professor was very encouraging of incorporating that. So that was a really, really cool experience. So I think it is about time for us to head back. So what I am going to do is, let's see, pull us back.
Hi, everyone. My name is Candace. I'm a Senior Associate Director here at Lasell, and it's such a pleasure to meet all of you virtually today. Caroline Lynch, which is our Assistant Director of Graduate Student Services, has provided me with really easy directions on how to switch to speaker view. Since I'm not very tech savvy, I'm going to just read them. So Caroline, thanks. So for all of you that are joining the meeting from your computers, if you look at the top right corner of your screen, you should either see speaker view or gallery view in the top right corner. Gallery view allows you to view all participants, while speaker view will allow you to see the panelists as they respond to questions. To switch from gallery view, simply click the word speaker view. For those joining from phones or tablets, you will need to begin by tapping your device screen and swiping either left or right to exit gallery view and return to speaker view. You will know that you are in speaker view once I'm the only video on your screen, since I'm actively speaking. All right, so now what I'm going to do is introduce the panelists, and as I introduce them, they're going to tell us what program they're in and where they are in their program. So Ashley Dalton, welcome.
Hi, I am in the Moderate Disabilities program, and I am in my 2nd session.
Awesome, thank you. And Megan Whalen, welcome.
Thank you. I am in the last semester of my graduate program, so I will have classes in both session 1 and session 2 in the fall.
Great, and which program are you in right now?
I'm in the Master's for Criminal Justice with the 2 concentrations.
Very good, okay. Welcome, Alessandro.
Hi, I'm Alessandro, and I'm in the MBA program, and this will be my 2nd semester. Also, I'll be taking class all throughout the
Very
fall
good,
session.
very good. And welcome, Cindy Marcus Jones.
Hi, everyone. I'm in the Master's in the Criminal Justice program. I'm in the self-design concentration, and I'm about halfway through.
Okay. And welcome, Jordan Villalon.
Hi, everyone. I'm in year 1 of my MBA program. Excited to be here.
Awesome. And welcome, Sherry Rogers.
Hi, everyone. I just finished my 3rd session of the Nutrition for Human Performance Master's Program.
Great, great. So I really want to thank all the panelists for giving their time and sharing their experience with us tonight. Really appreciate it. So I'm going to just jump right in the interest of time. What would you say is one thing that you wish you knew or wish you had done in your first session or semester at Lasell as a graduate student? So Ashley, do you want to take that one first?
Sure. I think one thing that I wish I did was just set like more time aside for myself, because I worked full time and I also took classes full time. So at times it got very overwhelming. So I think just taking some time before you get to the point of like being overwhelmed is really important. So yeah.
All right. All right. What about you, Megan?
I kind of have to agree with Ashley. You know, you just kind of have to, I usually have pretty good time management skills, but this was, you know, being in a graduate level program was a totally different animal, so to speak. You know, I wish I, for myself, had created a better outline just of the classes I needed to take, but the graduate admissions and everyone involved there was super helpful in getting me back on track, because I started signing up for classes that I didn't necessarily need, even though I thought I did. So that was helping me get right back on track.
Nice. Okay. And Alessandro Saglio, how about you?
I would say that it's probably not waiting until the last minute to do some things that might not have a deadline immediately, especially now there's going to be a lot of online stuff and there's not going to be deadline. Maybe it's due at the end of the semester. But I ended up just having to do it all at once at the end. And I would, if I could go back, I would much rather spend, 15 to 20 minutes a week or a day, whatever it is, rather than spend 3 to 4 hours in one day at the end to do everything. So just keep up with your work. It's worth it in the end.
Good. Okay. Okay. And Cindy?
One thing I think, and I agree with everybody else, but also register early and leave myself more time to navigate through like Canvas and the resources. I registered late, and I just, returning back to college after 25, 30 years, it was, a whole new world. So just to learn the online navigation and what the college resources have.
Okay. What about you, Jordan?
I have to second our first panelist. I was juggling 3 jobs at the time.
Wow.
And everything, it was a lot, but it was all within a time window, and everything was regimented to those time constraints. However, when something unexpected would pop out here or there, it really left me with little room to adjust. So I would, like everyone else is mentioning, leave some room for adjustment, even for the most organized folks, continue to leave some room for adjustment. And I definitely want to second what Cynthia said. My first semester took me a while to get a little comfortable with the platform that Canvas is, and just all that it has to offer. So I'll definitely give yourself some time to peruse through there and make it comfortable.
That helped? Okay. And what about you, Sherry? What do you think?
So I think everybody had really good advice, but for me, I think the one thing I wish I had done the first session was to reach out to my classmates more. It's really easy in an online program to feel like you're in this all alone, and you're really not. It's good once I started communicating with them and discussing things with them, I felt like the whole thing got a lot easier.
That's great. I'm glad to hear it. So what would you say, folks, that your best tip is for balancing schoolwork, having a full or part-time job, and a busy personal life? Ashley, what do you think?
I think I don't know if this works for everyone, but something I did was just like writing things down in like multiple places. Like I had like sticky notes on my laptop. I had sticky notes on my desk. Like I had a planner, and it didn't necessarily like do anything, but just like seeing it in all those different, places, really just was like, all right, you got to do it. And I think it helped too with time management, because once you see everything you have to do, it's like, it's either you're doing it now or you're doing 10 things in one night, and that isn't that fun. So that's just what I do.
Nice. Okay. And how about you, Megan?
I'm the same way actually as Ashley is. I'm a big list maker. That helped me during my undergrad with all of the things that I was involved in on campus. And then especially now, having to make sure, I do have a full-time and a part-time job, and all of these classes. So writing everything down on a list You know, and it also helped not only with the time management, but it also kind of relieves any kind of stress or anxiety you might have, because some of the syllabuses, depending on the professor, seem very nerve-wracking. Like there's just seems like there's a lot. So just taking it 1 week at a time, writing down what you have to do when it's due, and just attacking everything 1 week at a time using the list that you've created will help tremendously. Before you know it, the class is over and you've survived.
Right. So you use it to break it down and make it doable.
Right.
Got it. Okay. And what about you, Alessandro? What do you think?
Not to copy Megan and Ashley, but I also highly suggest having an agenda or something that will, you know, keep track of everything you have to do. Often I will have maybe an assignment, maybe a day where it's just very clogged up, and I might want to like spread an assignment or something I have to do out in a couple of days. So I always check on my agenda, making sure that those days that I'm going to reserve are not also busy, so that everything doesn't get too complicated. And at the same time, I say, you know, at the end of the day, whenever you have a second, whenever you have a second of free time, and I don't know, you're listening to music just really quick, just to make sure that you have everything done, so that you have completely no stress. Just double check that tomorrow there's nothing due and you didn't miss anything, so that you're feeling safe. You can go to bed not stressed
Good
out.
advice. Good advice. Okay. And what about you, Cindy? How do you balance? Do we lose Cindy?
Oh, she's muted.
Hear me?
Oh, there, I can hear you now, Cindy.
Okay.
Sure.
I was like, again, ditto what everybody else was saying, but also make sure that you start your week off early. You know, not that you intentionally procrastinate, but you might think you have enough time, like on a set day on your schedule, like, you know, maybe on a Wednesday, and then all of a sudden something may happen. Again, all depending upon what your jobs are. You know, you might get ordered in, or there might be a hurricane and you have a power outage, you know, and things like that. So have a backup plan, start early, and also just take small breaks. Because sometimes I found that I just overloaded myself, you know, and just take a small break just to clear your head, move around, get that circulation again, and then attack it.
Okay. Jordan, how did you balance?
Well, you guys are gonna get if you want to get comfortable using Eisenhower's matrix, finding out what's important, what's urgent, what's not important, and what's not urgent, to kind of just see everything you have to do in a web and what can wait and what can't. But like everyone else, I document everything I do, whether it be notes for retention, or to-do list before I go to bed, just so I know as soon as I wake up, I can try to hit the ground running after some coffee. But that's not only academically. I also like to write down workouts, vocabulary words, and other notes all around too. So that really helps me organize my thoughts and what I do.
Nice. Okay. All right. And Sherry, how did you balance everything?
So I agree with everyone else. Planning is huge. But I think it's also important to plan relaxation time.
Right.
So I always kind of block off my weekends. I'll study from noon to 4, and then I'll go see a movie or something like that, so that I have time to relax built in there, because it's easy to get caught up in work and school and forget to just enjoy life. And it's really important to enjoy life, or this becomes grueling very quickly.
For sure. For sure. Absolutely. So next question for all of you. Since classes are either fully online, or if someone's taking classes in an on-campus blended format, at least part of the class has an online component, how do you feel that you connect with your classmates and faculty? Ashley, I'll let you start.
So I don't know if anyone is this way in their program, but I have a lot of hybrid classes. I don't know if it's different because of COVID, but so we would meet like 3 times in a like a session, say. So if I have a class in session 1, we'd meet 3 times in that like 6 or 7 week period. And even though we only met 3 times, or even if we didn't meet at all, I always try to like make well, you make friends with everyone, I guess. They're small classes, but you make like a buddy that you can like talk to and like text about assignments and stuff, or even if you have their emails or whatever, just whatever is a good way to get in touch with people. So you can like ask about assignments or maybe work on things together. And then for faculty, I've had great experience with all the faculty. Email, some prefer you to text, or they allow you to text them, and they're just very available, whether it is all online or not. So don't be afraid to reach out to your professors. I'm sure it's the same in all of your guys' programs too, where they're very happy to help you. So
Yeah, very approachable faculty for sure. And what do you think, Megan? How did you connect with faculty as well as your classmates online?
Yeah, so unlike Ashley's program, the criminal justice master's program is strictly 100% based online. So even before COVID, it was all online. So then COVID happened and nothing really affected me in the way that I was doing my schoolwork. But definitely the discussion boards, because unlike Ashley, you know, we're all online, so we're not meeting anybody in a classroom setting. So definitely engaging in the discussions. I would have to admit personally for myself, like in the very beginning of my program, I was a little timid because I'm like, I don't know any of these people, maybe a few that I actually did undergrad with or cross paths with on campus at some point. But then after a while, you really start to see that that's how you build connections with the people in your class, especially your like introduction discussions in the beginning of your courses when they happen. I've made connections with people that are, you know, I would consider going back to discussing with them how to advance my future and advance my career. So definitely the discussion boards were super, super helpful and really made me connect with the people in the class.
Nice, nice. How about you, Alessandro? How would you connect?
First of all, I want to say that I'm probably going to have to leave after this question since I'm in the middle of RA training and it's at 6. I have to be somewhere. But I wanted to share the answer to the question. I would say everything that Ashley said, because I also had hybrid classes that, again, are small. And so it's a lot of discussion based classes. So you get to know people, it's very personal, you get to make jokes. And sometimes, you know, you make some good friends through that. And I would say that also, don't be afraid to shoot a message to somebody in the class if you have a problem in the class. I feel like the toughest part is making the first step, like the first message, hey, do you know how to do this? If they know how to do that, great, you found like your answer, and you can, you know, they might ask for your help next time when they can do something. And if they don't, then you found yourself a work buddy. So it's perfect.
Very good. Hi, Alessandro. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. Cindy, how would you make connections?
I made connections with my classmates through chat and, like Megan said, through the discussion boards. You know, even if it's something like as an introduction, you know, and they'll talk about, oh, you know, I had a husky, you had a husky, and then we'll start talking about, you know, different police officer experience and things like that. But the faculty, I have to say, are just outstanding. Connections either through chat, a lot with email, and phone calls too. So
nice. Okay. And Jordan, how about you? How would you connect with your classmates and faculty online?
Yeah, I definitely encourage everyone to leverage the first discussion to just break the ice for yourself and for everyone else, just to get a peek into who you are, what you've done, and everyone else will follow suit as well. So that's a great place to see, like Cynthia mentioned, if you have some commonalities outside of the program, like same dog or other interests and hobbies. So definitely leverage that first discussion. And then I forget his name, but he just took off.
Alessandro.
Alessandro, yes. He mentioned how quickly relationships get built once you put yourself out there. We formed a study group with some students that were 2 of them were graduating. This was the last class they were taking. However, we were still able to get together. This was pre-COVID, and just discuss the assignments and other things. And that was really an incredible resource. So definitely reach out, leverage the first discussion board to put yourself out there and make connections. And professors and faculty are incredibly engaged and available and accessible. So don't be afraid to reach out.
Cool. Okay. Sherry, how would you say you make connections?
So discussion boards are a great place to start. I agree with everybody else. Just kind of putting yourself out there in that introductory discussion that happens in every class. allows you to kind of figure out who you have things in common with. And then I often connect more privately through the Lasell email and eventually exchange phone numbers for text messaging and things like that.
Nice, nice. Okay, and last question of the evening. What would you folks say, how has your experience been utilizing the on-campus resources, and which resources, if any, have you used? I know some of you live close and some don't. So if you live close to campus, how have you used the on-campus resources? And if you live away from campus, what online resources have you used? What do you think, Ashley?
If any of you are going into education, in the library, there's a separate spot where there's a children's library, and there's a lot of like great books and like resources. So that's definitely so helpful for me. Also, career services is really helpful. I've made appointments with them, and they've helped me with like my resume, cover letter. It's just nice to have someone to look over all that stuff for you before sending it to different jobs and stuff. So I guess those are the two that I want to highlight.
Nice, nice. What okay?
I've the like online library as far as it goes with finding like professionally written journal entries and things like that for like research papers. We do a lot of writing paper-wise here for the criminal justice master's program. So that was definitely super helpful, especially when they're requiring to use such a resource. And then definitely, I would say the graduate admission, graduate professional services building, and everyone involved there, it was super helpful. And especially with Caroline, she helped me with, I was in touch with her almost every other week just about, ensuring that I was on the path for graduation that I wanted to be on, and that I was taking the correct classes, and things like that. So those are the two that I utilize the most.
Okay. So, and Alessandro, the reason why he had to duck out is one of the resources we have for grad students is grad housing. So if any students that are on this call right now are interested in that, please let your enrollment counselor know, and they'd be happy to give you more information on that. Cindy, what about you? Which resources have you used? Oh, Cindy, you're on mute.
There we
Cynthia,
go.
you're on mute.
Yeah, I
There
just
you go.
did it again. Yeah, it's
That's okay.
Okay, so I live in New York, so I'm away, and my courses are totally online. But I've used like tech services and registrar, definitely GPS. Caroline, fantastic. Elizabeth Milano, especially at the beginning when I just first started. So just everyone has been great. And the different, I don't use the library as much because I work at a college, so I'm just familiar with my library, but yeah.
Nice. Okay. Okay. And Jordan, what about you? Which services have you used?
In terms of infrastructure, I definitely suggest if you're around Lasell to check out the STC. It's a Science and Technology Center. Great resources and little rooms and pods to study. I use that a bunch when I'm around campus, and as well as the library too has not only places to get sources for whatever you're writing or doing, but it also has the Academic Achievement Center plugged in right there. So you can't lose with that. In terms of, I'm sorry, I lost train.
Do you use the fitness centers?
I don't.
No? Okay.
Online, but I definitely use Donnell Turner, who and Jesse Orlando. They have been polishing my resume. Anytime I do something new and cool, they update it and make sure it stays formatted. So that's a resource I definitely recommend everyone to use here if needed. And also don't be afraid to, I didn't mention this for the last question, but connect with folks on LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn has a bunch of great resources, and it's a great sharing tool. And lastly, my Lasell, don't be afraid to spend some time on there. The website has been redone and it looks incredible, and it's incredibly user-friendly.
Great, thanks for that. And Sherry, what about yourself? Which resources have you used?
I have to say I was really nervous about an online program because I'm not on campus, and it sounded like it would be a lot harder, but I have never once felt at a disadvantage by being online. The library is probably the resource I use the most, and the librarians are amazing. You know, they answer my questions. They'll email me back at night from home, and they're just terrific. So if there's ever questions with research or problems with a search engine or whatever, they're right there to help you. I think my admissions counselor was amazing. She made sure that I had every step covered so that I could start right when I wanted to. And the other service I use the most is probably the academic counselors. I think that I talk to Whitney every couple of weeks just to kind of make sure that I'm on track, and she's always there to answer my questions. And I just appreciate everybody there so much.
Oh. Well, we all appreciate you as well as the rest of the panelists. Thank you all so much for giving your time, sharing your experience, and we're actually on time. So awesome job, everybody. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Okay, I think it looks like everyone's just about back. I cannot even believe that the 90 minutes has already flown by. I hope that you all have gotten a good deal of information out of it and had an opportunity to meet with your advisor, meet with your faculty member. And Caroline's just put a slide up with some information of how to reach out to Liz, myself, Caroline, and then also you'll see our general address and phone number and email address below too. So I hope that we've made it very clear that we are here for you. Please reach out anytime, all the time, and let us be a big part of your program and your experience here at Lasell. We've got 2 minutes left on the clock officially, so if anyone has any last minute questions that they'd like to put in the chat bar, we are happy to answer them. But for everyone else, PowerPoint will be coming out to you soon, I think even as early as tomorrow, and you can review it. You can also visit our website at any time for all of this information or reach out to us directly. So if you've gotten everything you need, you're ready to go, Canvas is open. You can go get started right now if you like. Feel free to sign off, and if you have a few questions left, we'll be here for a couple more minutes. So again, thank you and welcome to Lasell. We're so glad you're here.